Welcome back to Whodle. It is week 3 and we have a very easy start. Some representation for the latest 60th anniversary specials, which is nice, but a very easy image. It is a poor guy who has just been turned into a bull by Neil Patrick Harris's toy maker, and I believe that did unfortunately kill those poor men. What a horrible way to go. It is the last episode of the 60th anniversary specials. It is The Giggle. Nice, a very easy start to the week. I mean, it's nice to have them, but the recency just makes that too easy, and it's quite a clear image, but it's a funny one, so I quite enjoy that. I mean, quite dark in a way, but we've got him as a bull, Spooky Sue, very good. The toy store, there's Neil Patrick Harris, and there's the Bi Generation. Okay, very good. An easy first one for the week, a good start. Here is day 2 of Whodle week 3, and we have a very close up of quite obviously Matt Smith's eye. You can tell by the eyebrow or lack thereof. No offense to Matt Smith. So there's a few I can think of here. The close up on his eye makes me think of a few things, like the corner of my eye bit in the 11th hour. But as sad as it is, once again, I do think I know what this is. I believe this is when 11 is looking at what his greatest fear is in the Hotel of Fears, and he is seeing the crack in time. It must be from the God complex. At least I hope I'm right here. It is the God complex. God, is that another sad one? Maybe it is. But yeah, I could just recognise the shot. It's where he's peering through the doorway. We've got all sorts of cool things and stuff. So like Weeping Angels, for example, which would be if you didn't know what that first one is, this one would throw you off and you might think, oh, is this somehow from Time of Angels or Angels Take Manhattan or something? That's not very clear at all. That one might have thrown me off. I'm not sure. I think I would have got it from that, as once again quite sad, but the hallways from the hotel. And yeah, also hallways from home. That one compared to yesterday with the ball from the gill, much harder. That's a hard shot. I'm just kind of sad, I guess. No offense if you got it too. I mean, maybe you're just very good at recognizing shots of Matt Smith's eyes. Well, let's see if this can continue. Day 3 of Whodle week 3, and okay, the difficulty has gone up with these last 2 days. I may have been lucky and known what yesterday's was, but today it's just some asteroids in space. I really don't know. Maybe the complaints of how easy the Giggle Day were heard, and now we've got full-on hard mode from Dictionary, so that's nice and fun. I can only think of a few episodes where we see shots like this. I'm sure there's actually loads where you see space and asteroids. It looks quite good. It makes me think it's Capaldi era onwards, but I just can't think of anything. I'm just going to go with my gut and think, oh, well, we see space when we see the Earth form in The Runaway Bride. I don't think it is that. It looks too good, but I can't think of anything else. So I think it's my best first guess. No, okay. Well, I do know what episode this is from this image, but it's another bit of trickery. Because funnily enough, it is Donna who is in The Runaway Bride. But this is a shot of Donna from the fires of Pompeii begging the 10th Doctor to go back and just at least save someone. And I think, well, where does this happen in Fires of Pompeii? Well, it doesn't. And also there's a slight tint on the colour of the image. This is actually a flashback, and this is where the 12th Doctor realises why he has his face. He has the same face as Castellius when the 10th Doctor saves him in Fires of Pompeii. So this must be when the 12 realises why he has his face and then goes on to save me in The Girl Who Died. From, there it is, Series 9. It is indeed. That's another good tricky one, another bit of tricky business. I like how much harder this has gotten recently. But yeah, I didn't get caught out by that. Very good. And then we've got him realising why he has his face. I mean, these two combined, if you know the episode, you're going to get it. There's Clara. That's quite a non-distinct episode image of the episode, unless you remember this moment. Another, yeah, like all 5 images, nothing is particularly obvious, but them combined is what does it. I mean, this one alone did it for me because it's clearly a flashback. It's clearly not the fires of Pompeii when you combine these two. Very good. On to the next. Well, here we are, another day, another Whodle, and what is this image? It is just some hands, old woman's hands, I would say, grabbing at a book, and there's some knitting material behind it. I mean, God knows, right? Like, what could this be? Where would this happen? I tell you where my mind went instantly. It went to a Sarah Jane Adventures episode, The Eye of the Gorgon, with that old woman Bee who has memories of those of adventures and mentions Sontarans, I think. But it's not that because it's Doctor Who episodes, so it's irrelevant. I don't know what this is. I'm thinking for episodes and I'm like, where did someone grab a book? What could this be? Well, oh my, after a bit of thinking, sadly, I think I've just imagined the scene where this happens in my head. It's an old woman grabbing a book and she's checking her logbook, and it's where the 10th Doctor asks, well, it's one of two moments, but it's in Gridlock, and it's where she's checking the logbook for checking either if she's ever seen a police car down there in the Gridlock, or if she's seen the vehicle that has Martha on it. It's an old woman. It's the couple that the cat refers to as sisters because he's old fashioned. It's one of them from Gridlock. Oh God, how horrendously terrible that I recognise that. Sometimes it does make you wonder how do you know these things? Why has that image stayed in my brain? Well, very good, another 1 in 1. I think they have got harder, but I've luckily just been good with my sad memory of Doctor Who. I mean, the earlier episodes, I'm much better with. Yeah, okay, that would have been, yeah, that's them on New Earth in the grungy alleyways. That's the big giveaway one, with all the announcements on the cars, and the cars are just never going anywhere. Okay, there's Tennant. And yeah, there we can see the macro, the returning macro, although they've just evolved to be giant and more monstrous, less intelligent. Another good day, very good. Back with Whodle again, 19th of March, and I'm struggling on this image that I really feel like I should know. It's clearly an episode where running out of oxygen is a concern. I mean, I feel like that probably happens in a few episodes. The quality of the image it's not oxygen. It is not the Series 10 episode of Capaldi Oxygen. It cannot be. I generally don't know if I'm sure. The quality of it, I would place it RTD era, probably, maybe early Smith era. This weird shape here, it's like I don't know. It looks like a spider leg. Makes me go to Arachnids in the UK where they do suffocate a spider, but I don't think we watch the oxygen go down. I'm can't think of an exact episode where we would see this shot. So I'm trying to think of one where maybe oxygen's going down on a meter. I'm really none the wiser and I feel like I'm being stupid here. So I'm going to go with just a random Tennant episode where I know oxygen just go down and they're running out. And it's in the Impossible Planet Satan Pit 2-parter when they're in the vents and they're being chased by the Ood and they have to cut off the different doors. And someone gets left behind and they choose to die by running out of oxygen instead of being killed by an Ood. That is in the Satan Pit. No, that was wrong. That's not shocking at all. But what have we got? Patient info, so a hospital. And I've immediately just devastated with myself with this image because it's clear I wasn't even that long ago I probably last saw this one. If I didn't think of the episode once. It's Smith and Jones where the hospital's running out of oxygen kits on the moon and they're waiting for the Jadoon to send them back. And everyone's running out of oxygen. Hospital. The only other hospital episode I can think of is Power of Three, but there's it's Smith and Jones. That's my first not getting a Tennant episode in one. I'm very disappointed with myself on that one. It was Smith and Jones. I just didn't think of the episode. It didn't cross my mind. Yeah, hospital information really gave it away. I mean, yeah, clear shot from that. That's probably the thing causing the glow. And there he is with Martha. I really like Smith and Jones. A great first episode for a series. A great introduction to a companion. Damn, I'm disappointed in myself. Hopefully we'll do better tomorrow. Okay, we're back with Whodle again. And once again, we're going complicated. We're going obscure. I like it. The difficulty has gone up. We're looking at a vortexy type thing. Is it the time vortex or is it a different type of energy? I'm not sure. I've got a few things in my mind. In the early series, mostly I think series 1, they used the vortex as like a flashback thing, but you could see through it and the moments you're flashing back to. A lot of the Bad Wolf stuff used it, so it can't be that, because you would be able to see some form of moment behind it. There's two things I have in my mind, and I once again find myself in a 50-50. There is Captain Jack's beam in The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances from his ship, where he catches Rose in and he rides on the bomb in it. Which part of that, because it's an empty shot of the beam, I would hazard to guess it would be the first part, so The Empty Child. The other thing I'm thinking of is in Utopia, not Utopia, the part after Utopia. What is that? That is The Sound of Drums, even, where they are escaping from the future kind and they manage to make it back to the 21st century, and they use Jack's wrist strap from when he was a time agent, and we see this time vortex on like an alleyway, and then they teleport in or time travel in. It could be that one. I'm not sure. I don't remember if we ever just see the beam like this with Captain Jack's ship. If it was, it would make sense, because we can see a light at the end of the beam right here. But I don't know. And then yeah, maybe it looks a bit vortexy. So I'm going to go with The Sound of Drums. You've just had Utopia recently. That'd be the first time we've had 2 episodes that are next to each other, I think. I could be wrong on that. So I'm going to go with The Sound of Drums. No, 50-50 didn't pay off. That's very clearly a shot of... It's our first ever 9th Doctor episode in Whodle. It is The Empty Child, and that's where he's in the hallway and he gets the "Are you my mummy?" creepy phone call. It is Captain Jack's ship beam, isn't it, with the light at the end. I'm making silly mistakes lately. That's another unfortunate one. It's got to be The Empty Child. There it is. There's The Empty Child. What a creepy episode. Literally, when I was a kid, nightmares. Absolute nightmares. Okay, so it was Captain Jack's beam. There they are where they landed. Stealing some food from the richer families during the bombings. The hospital with the horrifying transformation scene. And The Empty Child. God damn, another mistake. My correct first guess rate is going down. Well, got it in 2. It's the final day of week 3 of Whodle, the 21st of March, and we have a very, very clear Jodie Whittaker episode, because here we have, pretty certain, Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor, on the TARDIS with her weird, gemmy, crystal-y design. Now, what episode is it? Well, my eyes go straight to what is she wearing. Her coat is normally longer than that, it's normally lighter than that. Where does she wear a shorter coat and a darker coat? My mind goes to Spyfall, and in Spyfall Part 1, where she wears the tux, it's only in a casino and running towards the plane. In Part 2, it would be the first time I think she would have been on the TARDIS wearing it, in fact the only time. So I think it's probably her wearing a tux in Spyfall Part 2. Is this the second time that I get destroyed by Spyfall Part 2 not being the answer? It is. It isn't Spyfall Part 2. Then what is this? Could that be... Whenever does she wear something else short? Maybe it's Kate Lefford-Stewart. I'm pretty sure it's not. Going from the hair, it's got to be 13. And the way she's standing, it's definitely 13. And why would Kate be in a shot on her own? And then it would also have to be from Flux. So what have we got here? A very indistinguishable image of a roof in rain. Wow, once again, I think the obscure image is what gives it to me, because this is ingrained in my head from let's say, an interesting episode that I enjoyed an amount. I think this is one of the opening shots from Legend of the Sea Devils, and we're about to see Sea Devils with electric swords. Don't have a clue what that's from. That's weird. But that image to me is Legend of the Sea Devils. Once again, a weird image recognition in my head. The specials after Series 13, the penultimate Jodie Whittaker episode. It is indeed Legend of the Sea Devils. Well, blimmin' heck. So we've got this, which I do not recognise. A roof. Underwater. I don't know if I get that. Maybe, definitely combined with that. But on its own, I'm not sure. Yeah, piratey Legend of the Sea Devil themed. And there's a statue of the Sea Devil. Cool, very good. What is this? Okay, just looked it up. She did have an alternative costume in this. I forgot it. Maybe I zoned most of this episode out of my head. Well, that's funny. Well, I still got it in 2. Just over a 50% correct first guess rate now. It's going down. Every week I'm doing worse, I think. But yeah, not bad at all. Look forward to next week's. See you then.